And a lot sooner for bar hoppers in Greenville County. The County Council introduced an ordinance last night that'll cease alcohol servings and close businesses in the county at 2 a.m. just as they do in the city.
So the sheriff's office has data, they say, that shows they get a majority of calls to late night bars after 2 a.m. Our Aaron Rogers standing by with more on why city leaders say they want to do this.
Well, Gordon, I talked to a county councilman who says people often leave the bars in the city at 2, then go out to places in the county that are open later. He says when more alcohol is involved, disputes escalate, and it also raises a concern for drunk driving accidents. It seems like this has city leaders taking a stand.
This is a public safety issue.
Greenville County Councilman Lynn Ballard introduced an ordinance last night that would close bars and clubs in the county after 2 a.m.
We're shutting it down. We're not having alcohol consumed in businesses after 2 a.m.
That's already the law in the cities of Greenville and Malden.
The ordinance even has gone so far as to say room service in hotels.
He says the ordinance should stop some of the problems. In data I got from the sheriff's office, it shows from January 2016 through last week, most violent crime calls at certain bars across the county happen between certain hours.
One of the locations, we had 15 calls for service. Out of those 15, 14 of those calls were between 2 and 6.
A few of these bars have had to close their doors permanently, in part due to some of the violence, which also uses up deputy manpower.
You get a call at the bars and clubs involving large fights or shots fired. We're going to have to utilize the majority of the deputies on the road to get over there for officer safety reasons.
A bar owner I talked to says he's fine with the 2 a.m. ordinance, but wants to see it enforced fairly.
Make sure that, that nobody have an extra edge for that particular late night crowd, because there is a lot of money to be made.
He says the city also needs to take into account people who work different shifts and money made from taxed revenue.
I'm open till 3 o'clock, for example, and we get a pretty big rush right at 2.
Now, to be clear, the ordinance as it's written says businesses will stop serving alcohol and close at 2 a.m. Council will have the second reading in 2 weeks. In the 7 on Main studio tonight, I'm Aaron Rogers, 7 News.
A second reading there can always add amendments, by the way, to that ordinance.
But depending on the vote in 2 weeks, this could become law as soon as in a month.